Yeah, I'm very
Don't
close.
don't bring the axe up. Why are you bringing
What
the axe?
WK?
Why are you bringing the axe into us? Put it down, mate. We're
I
trying
need
to
some
record a nice.
anti-rust. You got any WKD30?
Does it look like I do?
Yes. You look like
I
you
don't know if
grease
that
bolts.
is that a compliment.
Don't know.
Pardon? You must say.
Who?
Who? You must right here.
Who?
Okay, right. Swear.
You're actually not allowed to swear on our podcast, so
Yeah, please
we'll
don't
kill you.
swear.
I won't.
Don't you fucking swear right
Don't
now. I
you
swear to God,
fucking dare.
I will fucking see this pipe. I will beat you to death with this pipe.
Question
No.
6, we just pull your IP. It's just how it works.
That's what it is. Yes, we're harvesting IPs at the minute. We are
Harvesting, yeah. We've got a data
harvesting.
bot right now.
Yes,
Yeah.
he lives in that cupboard right there. That one right there. The
In
big one.
Arizona. That's me in
No,
there.
he's. Oh, is it?
Yeah, have you never checked? Don't.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Forgotten Podcast. I'm your host, Catman Joe, and I'm joined here once again by none other than the cynic himself, Mr. Mass Cynic.
Who?
Who indeed. Today, we are delighted to be joined by an incredibly underrated online creator who has spent a good part of the last 8 years creating content online.
One take, baby. One take, baby.
Starting from humble beginnings at 8 years old and recording with his Apple iPad 2, he took his very first step into the online content creation world with his first video titled My New Channel, where he welcomed newcomers to his channel and mentioned how more videos would be coming soon once he got a new camera. Well, thankfully, more videos did get released, or else we probably wouldn't be here right now, but little did he know that 8 years on, he'd still be making videos and perfecting his craft. At the start of 2022, though, he made the bold decision to rebrand his online image entirely and change his content from animation-related videos to commentary-style essay videos about things he's passionately interested in, which understandably came as a surprise to many of his long-time subscribers. He kept at it, though, and in the past year, he's managed to cross the 4,000 subscriber mark and push his combined channel view count to over 2.5 million. He's the man who most definitely does make videos and goes by many different names. Please give a very warm welcome to J.R.S. He's been known online, BraveMan30, Orange Coast 79, Mario Tube, NG20, J.R.S, and of course, BM30.
Hello, I'm
Jeez.
BM30. I make mediocre content on YouTube on like random things I like talking about, and yeah, I've been doing it for a few years now. How you all doing tonight?
And that just about wraps it up.
Thanks for coming
Whoa.
on. Whoa. God, no. But no, BM, thanks so much for joining. This was kind of a bit weird and a little bit awkward for us, and in the most respectful sense. I hope that really throughout this episode will be a little bit more chill, and we can obviously enjoy ourselves. Obviously, it's been very chill so far. But for those of the audience watching, of course, whether you're coming from BM30's side of the water or our side of the water, this is actually our first ever call, my first ever call with BM30, and obviously Joseph's, of course. I met BM, obviously, or Jay. Do you mind if I say Jay? Do you mind if I call you back Jay?
Jay.
Jay, thank you. Well, I met Jay originally because of one of his videos regarding Minecraft Legacy Console Edition. It was a very successful video. His had done rather well, and I actually saw it. I commented on it and checked him out, and he was a real underrated content creator who I really liked. Most of all that I really liked about him was his commentary style content, essay videos, and then when I dug deeper, of course, for the podcast, I learned some more about him. But this is actually our first ever time getting together to be able to actually record something and do something. Jay's been nothing but an absolute pleasure to be able to get on because he's been very polite and very respectful. So Jay,
If anything,
thanks
we've
for
been the
coming on,
problem.
man. We've been the problem.
So.
Yeah, the past hour we've been nothing but just nincompoops, and we've just been wasting his valuable time. But no, Jay, man, it is really awesome to have you on the show here, dude. I really hope you're having a fantastic day, man. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm actually like, I remember when I got the email to be like invited on this podcast. I was like so shocked because like my channel was so small, and I was like, what? I'm big on a podcast. What?
You're bigger than our podcast.
You're big. Yo, I mean, in terms of
I'm on the Forgotten podcast.
Yes.
Oh my
The
god!
Forgotten
No,
podcast.
I mean, dude, it was one of those things, man, where like, because I'm the one who does like the research and a lot of the script writing. Joe knows this. We've kind of acknowledged this. Joe does all the editing. He's an amazing editor and stuff like that, and he does that.
I throw footage around and it works.
That's what it is. Yeah, so he flings it at the wall and it just sticks. Whatever.
Somehow I'm here, you know. I have a little bit of contribution. I say some words. I'm like, yo, you know what? Feel
but
more
but no, I was working on the kind of next season of the show, which was obviously episodes 50 to 60, and I was thinking about who could come on for that season and stuff. We have Blu-rated and purple-rated episodes, and for our Blu-rated episodes, that's guessed between 500 and 10,000 subs, and you were just one of them. And I was like, you know, I really would love to get you on the show. I had your name kind of drafted on a script on our drafts, like people that we want to get on. Like I don't know when I done it, but I must have added your name a little while ago or a little while back. And I was like, I wonder if you'd be interested. We'll try and reach out and see if he is. And, you know, obviously, of course, you accepted the offer. So it really is appreciate having you here. I'm going to acknowledge real quick the elephant in the room. I don't know if Joe is acknowledging this or hearing this, but
I
I'm hearing
am,
a
yeah.
slight echo. I'm hearing a slight echo from BM. I'm not sure what it is.
I
It's like
just
his
checked
mic.
my settings to see if that was me, but it was not me.
It's not terribly bad or anything. It's just that I can hear myself through your thing, BM. So, what are you recording or listening via? I'm intrigued.
Okay, I'm gonna be real honest with you. So I kind of want to get. I was gonna talk about this earlier, like later in the podcast, but like I am not high quality effort at all. I don't even have a microphone. I'm using an iPad. I can't even lie. I'm not even joking.
Back to your roots.
Oh
my god!
Back to your, oh my god!
This is nostalgic.
When you make videos, do you not have an actual microphone that you use to record?
No, I just use my iPhone.
Jesus, man. I mean, like
Apple hire this man.
It's quite surprising on a genuine level because your quality of content, like your quality is always quite good. I mean, even your editing, of course. I know that you edit with Premiere Pro 2021, right? I believe that's what you said before. I'm not sure if you've upped from there, have you?
So everything before like December. So I got Premiere Pro like pretty recently. Everything before that was like the iMovie actually. I just used iMovie the whole time. The video you're watching in the background right now, that was made in iMovie.
I mean, it's a phenomenal video. The video done incredibly well in terms of views, and obviously, of course, it was a really, really, really well made video. It was actually one of my favorite videos that I've watched, and I'd watched a lot of them, at least of your kind of more commentary essay style content. This was definitely one of my favorites. If anybody right now watching this, obviously, is wondering what we're watching, it's my favorite 2D Mario game. It's an amazing video. Please check it out by BM30. It's, in my opinion, one of his best. I'm sure he'd maybe say otherwise. I'm not sure, but it is an amazing video. Obviously, he has made a whole collection of them. But yeah, man. Well, dude, going from there, man, it's fantastic to have you on a show on Scambro. I'm gonna go right now and get into the actual script itself because obviously I don't want to dilly dally and keep us held up. But if as long as you're ready, we'll get started with it.
All right. Yep. Let's go.
All right. Something I couldn't help but notice while I was looking deeper into the long history of your YouTube channel was your lack of either understanding or care for copyrighted content when you originally started your channel. With you initially uploading entire annoying orange videos or dumb ways to die songs, and yes, I saw that, don't worry. Obviously, you were just back then, a normal 9-year-old kid uploading his favorite YouTube videos. I meant nothing by it, but my question is, why did you keep those videos public as your channel progressed forward into the future?
Well, the first reason why those were made in the first place was because I thought 9-year-old me could just like re-upload annoying orange videos and get views, but I don't know why I didn't just screen record it.
I mean, you did get views, right? Like you did get views on some of the videos. Like the Dumb Ways to Die one, was it like your first taste of success? Was it not, right? Like one of your Dumb Ways to Die videos.
I think it was yeah, that one, yeah, and also annoying orange deaths part 1.
Yeah, so you re-uploaded a lot of it, and you actually did find some success with it. But I'll let you progress from there. I mean, you were recording it, weren't you, with your phone, right?
Yeah, with the iPad, man.
Yeah,
the iPad is the root of all evil. Clearly, like
the root of all evil.
Yeah.
Do you edit on your iPad?
No, I used to edit on iMovie on my iPhone, and then I moved to Premiere on my computer.
Not too bad, man. Not too bad. But I mean, so like obviously now, of course, we've progressed. This was a long time ago. I'm saying we're talking like several years ago. Why haven't you deleted those videos even now, or even not deleted them per se, but privatized them?
Because I don't know. I always felt strong about like creators and like the old videos. Because there was this one YouTuber I actually used to know who used to make like Minecraft videos in like 2015, and I found their channel recently, and they're like, "Oh yeah, deleted all of them. I just don't care about them anymore." And I was just like, I know the like shitty. Cut them out.
No, you're allowed to swear. No, you're allowed to swear.
I was joking.
Joe's being sarcastic. Joe beforehand did say that he can't swear. We're completely fucking sarcastic. You can swear as much as you want.
No,
we are probably one of the least PG podcasts out there.
YouTube will kill us.
They're actually quite good now. Their policies aren't as bad.
They actually aren't.
So drop some no.
No, don't go too far. But like, yeah. But like, but no. So I mean, it was just kind of surprising while I was researching your channel. That was kind of why I wanted to begin with the first question. I didn't really know where to begin this. And obviously, as you'll progress, of course, as we'll progress with the script, you'll hear some other really good questions. Of course, it got a little bit more interesting than just that. But I was quite intrigued as to the reason why you didn't just privatize or unlist those videos, considering you'd also already previously privatized and unlisted a couple of your older videos. Excuse me, from my understanding, from what at least I saw in your comment sections and such.
Yeah, the videos that were ever privatized on my channel, they were either like my face being in it, or it's just like something so relevant. It was like a 3-second animation that's just like not worth keeping up. But the reason why I keep them up, like the annoying orange stuff and all that, is simply because it's just like childlike innocence. It's kind of like interesting to see progression over time. Like my most popular video on my main channel, I hate it. It's like terrible. But I keep it up just as like kind of a memory, I guess, of like
I
my channel's timeline.
I
And
understand that. I think that's respectable.
yeah,
Not to cut in, sorry, but I do think that's totally respectable. And like you mentioned about the content creator, the Minecraft content creator that you used to watch, who privatized or deleted all their content. I think it is kind of something that does suck heavily when a creator does delete all their content as opposed to just privatizing or unlisting it.
yeah.
I think unlisting is obviously kind of like the best way to go about it if you're going to do it, of course. But I understand your reasoning there. It makes a little bit more sense, I suppose.
Did you only get any like repercussions for that at all? Like strikes, etc. I assume so, right?
I think like one annoying orange video got striked. I think that was it, but like nothing else really.
I'm surprised how much you managed to dodge, to be honest. It's like quite
You got
impressive.
lucky. You got lucky there.
I
Yeah.
upload something that isn't even copyright, and they'll find a way to like smack me in the face of a demonetized sign, even though I don't even have monetization. But you know when it says like it's been like regulated, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Remember
remember on
like back in like 20, what year was it? Like 2017, where like every video you would post a video and it would get demonetized like immediately.
In seconds before you could even like
Yeah, in
before
sec-
anybody any actual person could even watch the entire video. It's like demonetized. Now you've got to go there. No, demonetized.
I used to have an old
Sensitized.
Twitter account that I think people had a vendetta against. I remember I posted like a green screen video of like a character from Apex doing a default dance, and he got taken down for like violence and suicide. And I'm like, okay,
Oh god.
it's like,
Damn.
that's why I use the new account now. But the other one got actually terminated because of that. It's ridiculous. So fix your stuff.
Fair play. I'll let
So
Joe progress.
yeah, I was just about to say like we did like previously kind of touch on like your first taste of success, but originally I think we found your first taste of success when it was your animation based content, which you spent almost 5 years creating before you mysteriously stopped. You gained over 3,000 views and over 2.4 million. I did that the wrong way around. 3,000 subscribers and 2.4 million channel views. That would be quite the difference.
Oh, definitely.
Imagine 3,000 subscribers. Other way around. Sorry. I'm having a moment, guys. I'm sorry.
Senior citizen.
it's fine.
I think I'm on the verge of a migraine, so I will just cut this bit out. But I'll start again in just a second. I might need to see a plague doctor. You gained over 3,000 subscribers and over 2.4 million channel views, all from the same genre alone. What made you make such a bold decision at the start of 2022 to completely rebrand and stop making that kind of content? And why have you avoided talking about this and community you've animated in? Sorry, that echo is messing with me. I'm trying to.
It's annoying, but so basically the animation I did, it was all part of this big community called the Object Show community, and the real reason why I started was just because everyone who I was talking to in that community just I guess we got all just fell off. I guess we all just stopped making like those animations, and obviously when I stopped making them when I was like 13 or so, like 12. So then by the time I came back to YouTube and like 2022 my main channel, I just decided like, hey, I want to do the content I wanted to make when I was like way younger, because although like back then I made like annoying orange terrible videos, my dream was to be like doing the things I do now, honestly, but I just didn't have the like equipment to do it at all.
Wait, so your dream back then was to be a commentary style content creator, or was it to be an animator?
Yeah.
Because it seemed like you were wanting to be an animator
You
for a while.
remember I used to watch like Grady on the way and Leafy.
Oh, dude, I love that. Those are like huge inspirations for us. We love Grady Under. I actually run a Leafius Archive channel, the biggest Leafius Archive channel on YouTube at the minute.
Yeah.
But I love their content. The Grady Under is incredible. His style of content is amazing.
Leafy did irreversible damage to it because the problem is that like my school we watched Leafy when we were like 10, so we were like the people in the YouTube comments who were like saying like swears and stuff.
Hiss. You must say just spamming the word hiss. You must saying continuously. The reptilian army.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, damn man.
I kind of like glazed over it at the end because I've just like been choking on words and stuff. But why'd you avoid talking about it? Is it just because they fell off? Is there any, like there wasn't any internal stuff at all? It was just because it got less popular, right?
I felt bad if I told my friends I wasn't part of the community, so I just stood silent basically. And that's the
So you
real
just
reason,
you just
honestly.
ghosted everyone.
Well, I mean, it's an interesting way to put it because I recall from like one of your videos, in fact, I'd have to find this specific, but you'd actually mentioned, I'm not trying to, doubt your words here. It's like that. I'm just saying it's like you mentioned how the community was actually quite toxic. I don't know if
In
you
some
would
parts, yeah, but
comment
that's
on that.
every community. So
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I think every community definitely has toxic aspects, but it seemed like that was something that you kind of like one of the
It's
reasons
really
maybe why
bizarre
you
to me
weren't
for
got in touch
animation
with
to
it.
be quite toxic, you know? Like, you would expect that to be a lot more lighthearted, right?
I would, yeah.
Yeah. Slightly off topic quickly though. I was saying to Joe previously because it's just like your style of animation really reminds me of this, and I thought I'd bring it to your attention because I'm not sure if it's what you were going for, if that was a source of inspiration, etc. But your style really reminds me of Newgrounds. Have you ever used your animation on different platforms, Newgrounds even, you know, that sort of thing? Because it does resemble the same sort of thing, and I think that's really cool.
I did for a time actually. I made a Newgrounds account in like 2019 where like no one used Newgrounds. The style was inspired by that, but when I was younger, I did watch like Flash animations and like spray animations and
Because
stuff.
Flash Games was massive, so I can
Yeah,
imagine like that sort of style popping off, you know.
Super Mario 63 was amazing, amazing game.
63.
63, goddamn.
Yeah, and but yeah. So I remember like stuff like Astive movie and stuff like that really like inspiring me to make like self that kind of art style. And
Yeah.
yeah, but other than that, it was mainly just object shows. Like
I
this
also
It's
feel
funny.
like,
Oh, sorry,
yeah,
go ahead.
sorry to cut in. I just want to say, is it also? I feel like there's also a little bit of SMG. Is it SMG 64? SMG 4?
SMG. Oh yeah, I used to watch him. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I feel like I see him as well.
that style. No.
It's funny enough
Good
we mentioned
source of
Asdaf
inspiration.
movie because Asdaf obviously, of course, or the Asdaf movie, of course, created by Tom Scott, for those you don't know, is actually kind of involved in the next question, which kind of helps us segue into that. Throughout your history on YouTube, I think it would be fair to say that one of the most influential creators you clearly looked up to when you were younger, at least from my point of view, was a creator known as Jack and Jellify. For those of our listeners who don't know who this person is, I'll give a brief but hopefully respectful description to bring everybody up to speed. Jack and Jellify was one of the early YouTube animators who pioneered self-created animated web series similar to Tom Scott, who we were just mentioning there, the creator of Asdaf movie, or Pivot Master DX, the creator of the Stick Figures on Crack series, for those of you that did watch that, which I did back in the day. Um, Jack and Jellify, though, was subjectively best known for a series called Battle for Dream Island, which revolved around a bunch of anthropomorphic objects who are competing in a competition to win the grand prize of Dream Island. The series was a huge success and gained hundreds of millions of views, and with that, it spawned an entire community of upcoming animators who used that series, or who used that series, excuse me, as inspiration for them to create their own unique spin-offs. One such creator who I know you also admired, Jay, or at least I believe you also admired, was Captain Cool AG, who is a YouTube animator and creator of the series Battle for Dream Island Weekly, which, as I'm sure everybody can imagine or can obviously guess, was a spin off of the Battle for Dream Island series, created, obviously, of course, by Jack and Jellify, who we mentioned previously. With all that being said, though, I wanted to ask you, Jay, as someone who was heavily invested in that community, and we kind of just touched on this for a considerable amount of time, what are your thoughts on it now? Does it make you sad to see creators like Captain Cool Guy or Captain Cool AG, excuse me, start to disappear and kind of fade into irrelevancy?
The thing with the object show community was that back then it was like a magical experience because the thing was anyone could really work on like a show you're creating. It didn't really matter about like the subscriber counts, like how cool you were and like your status or anything. Like you could really just make an object show and anyone would work on it, and that's kind of like that's what made the community so like massive in the first place, or made it so
Yeah.
good. Like I remember I used to talk on Skype with people and like voice act for the shows and stuff. It was like really cool. But now the audition community isn't really like that anymore. Like the it's kind of like YouTubers, but like if I have over like a million subscribers, there's like no chance they're gonna talk to you if you're like someone like me. And also I don't know the shows people create now they're more unoriginal than it used to be. Like it used to be way more variety, but now it's just like this the same kind of thing.
I
Like
definitely
over
think
and over
Flash
again.
is a good example of that, though. Yeah.
I think I do get what you mean because obviously for me I never actually had heard of Jack and Jellify, like prior to obviously doing research for you and stuff and all these people, Captain Cool AG and such. I kind of only really learned about them because of you and obviously Battle for Dream Island Weekly and then Battle for Dream Island Original. It was kind of weird, you know, as someone who's like from an outside perspective looking into something like this, it was really from my point of view something that was incredibly, you know, outdated. Now obviously it was something that was of that era. And it was kind of a shame to see those creators that were at some point one of the biggest creators, of course, in the platform, or some of the biggest creators in the platform, or that were pulling in millions of views per month, to now be kind of pulling in a trickling amount of that. Obviously, maybe 1/10 if you're lucky of that view count. It's a shame. It really is.
It really is a shame, but you know. Also, another creator I was like really inspired by was Xani Leaves. He made
Right.
He also made object shows in like 2013, and like he now makes animations today that are object show based, and they're like so amazing, and he gets like a lot of views for them, which I'm very happy about for him, because the thing about the object show community, I think this goes for like any genre you do on YouTube, it's really hard to like escape, because when you get popular or something on YouTube, if your viewers only want to see that specific thing, so like migrating to something else is very difficult, but he pulled through, and that's what I'm trying to do right now on my channel as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, like since 2022, of course, obviously since the start of 2022, obviously now a year ago, at this point in time, that seems like that's what you've been trying to do. You've been trying to kind of migrate your audience away from the animation style content that really was what gave your initial bit of success and your initial kind of audience and foundation, if you dare call it that. To obviously now this more commentary style content, which I'd say is better edited. There's a lot more inspiration in it. There's a lot more passion in
Well
it.
put together.
It's well put together. It's unique. There's a lot of interesting aspects towards it. But I can imagine that'd be a real challenge. I think any creator who has built an audience on a specific niche always does find it quite challenging to switch to another niche and obviously pull some of the audience with them, whether it be myself, a Minecraft creator going to another game, or Joe, a creator of, say, Apex.
Like me going
who's-
into like Let's Plays or something, you know,
yeah,
like
yeah, it's always
just
a
changing.
challenge.
You kind of get soft locked into what you do, right? Like with every community. Like if you're known for something, they're gonna hate it if you change that because they're not used to it. I think people are scared of something that's different, or like they like familiar, right? That's what makes it hard to grow.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I was gonna, but I didn't know if they were gonna elaborate. I was gonna like go, well, then this is the next question. All right, welcome back. For you, that would have been a few seconds. For us, it was a few minutes. Joe was playing some glorious flute, and BM30 was having some technical difficulties. Basically, a meteor came down, hit his iPad, and now he's working with some sort of prehistoric dinosaur laptop. So now he has, you know, a working setup, which is fantastic. But we're moving on
That's it.
swiftly to question 4. And I just want to say, when Joe originally pitched the idea of you coming onto our show as a guest, one of the things I was told about you was how you had raw talent when it came down to commentary. With Joe comparing you to myself and guests we've had on the show like Z-Storm being all commentary creators. Some of your best content, in my opinion, that really shows your commentary and editing skills would have to be your My Favorite 2D Mario Game video, and also I Love Minecraft Legacy Console Edition. With that being said, though you definitely still have more things you can improve upon because you are new to this, and even so you're doing fantastic, I was wondering what are your plans for the future content, and what's the process behind creating this content, and what is that like?
The plan for the future, honestly, there isn't much. I just like making videos. There's no big. I know most like kids these days are like, oh, I want to be a full-time YouTuber. I'm gonna get 1 million subscribers. But that's not my goal here. My my
Hold
goal
on.
here.
Listen,
I just
continue.
find YouTube. I just like making videos as a hobby, and YouTube is the best place to do that. And also because I don't use TikTok. But the process of making my videos is very simple but long. It's so I write a script basically half the time. Sometimes I just think of a video idea in the shower, and I just be like, you know what? I'm gonna just record it right now and post it. Um, I write a script. I do the audio, which takes the longest time because I really hate my voice, honestly. So it's very annoying to like edit it and all that. And the editing is the most fun part, and it takes about a week or two, depending on the video.
I think when you
That's
get
it.
into visuals of commentary, that's when it's good. Like I absolutely despise working with audio. Like I hate recording it. I hate editing it. The worst bit I think
Yeah.
of the whole YouTube process is after you're done with your speaking, you've got the audio file and you're having to cut it, trim it, make it better, normalize it, etc. That is by far the least favorite. I think when you get past that, it's like visuals, music, that sort of thing is where it gets fun. And I think that's the addiction of commentary. Like I make a lot of commentary videos myself, and that's how my process usually goes.
I saw some of them. Like the Skylanders one. My school used to like Skylanders when we were younger. But yeah, for my
Well,
editing process, I've been taking inspiration recently because I'm sure if you can tell from like previous videos, like early 2022 to now, the editing style like got really good. I guess like kind of better. And the reason why is because of this YouTuber I found called Mr. Amazing, where he just make his edits are just like his username is amazing, and he made a video about how to edit videos and how to make it like visually interesting, and I just related that to heart and got inspired by doing it.
So does he edit on Premiere Pro as well, or just like how does he? What program does he use to edit? Is it the same, or is it something different? But you can still kind of mimic the style and the entire kind of feel of it.
He uses a Premiere Pro. I think he used
Oh.
Final Cut as well.
Oh, okay, that's not too bad. It is quite good to have inspiration, especially in the editing form. And I think on the whole conversation, I guess, of I don't like my own voice. I think every creator kind of has that. I think there's also kind of like that mutual thing where a lot of creators, no matter how great you may sound or how bad you may sound subjectively, creators all have that kind of inner criticism towards their own voices.
It's
But
because you
obviously,
realize your
everybody
own
else.
idiosyncrasies, right? Like,
Oh yeah.
I still
When
have a
you're
problem
hearing
with like
yourself.
saying the word and like. That is two things that I've like definitely doubled down over the years, but it's something that still is there. And I think when you notice it, you're like shit. And I've got a problem right now when it comes to commentary, which is driving me nuts. And I think it happens with every commentary video. And if you listen hard enough, you will hear it. I'm sorry to ruin every commentary video ever for you, but I'm doing it
Breathing.
now, right? Yes, you can hear me
The
breathe.
breathing.
Like
Yeah,
it's like,
that's a
Yeah.
oh
big
my god,
thing.
guys. So there's this. I
Oh,
hear
I
it
cut
every
that
time.
out.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Dude,
no,
Yeah,
so
sorry
you
do
for
I.
can.
But then
interrupting.
you get too quick
Yeah, you
and
can
you
get
don't
too
sound
quick, and
natural.
it's if you don't have the like that moment of air coming in and you kind of cut that out, although it might be in the milliseconds, which I mean the vast majority of the time it is, right? Especially if you're an audio kind of junkie like us, right? Like it does kind of it progressively ends up making this video that sounds like a Rap God sequel. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like just do do do
Yeah.
do do do. It's kind of
Just
like you're just spitting kind of like the sentences over and over and over.
That was my main
So I think
criticism
it's
Dude.
it's natural to have.
on my last video. My main criticism was you're speaking too fast. I'm like, I'm not. I'm just cutting out every single thing that isn't me speaking. You know.
dude, audio editing is just genuinely so annoying. Yeah, I always hear like me just breathing in, and like the thing is, it always just pisses me off so badly because I just you don't realize it while you're recording, and then you hear the audio. It's like I'm like like every single time I speak, it's so annoying, dude.
Oh, I feel you.
That's what I
I
was
think
saying. I hate it the most, like when it comes to
I,
editing. So
I've got a program that cuts my audio automatically for me, so I kind of miss the majority of that. I think audio editing, when I used to do it, was probably one of, undoubtedly like yourselves, the most frustrating aspects of editing. Like I love doing everything else, whether it be the script process, that's my favorite part of making a video, thinking the idea, building it up, kind of fattening it and making it. But like when it comes into the audio editing, that was just too much of a pain in the butt. But when it comes down to it now, it's like a click of a button. I just go like anything under minus 50 dB, that all gets cut and entirely removed from my audio when I'm doing my audio editing. It's like a lifesaver. You all need to get on Sony Vegas. I'm telling you, you're missing a big time.
I
Yeah,
have
I
mastered
remember
my
the
craft in the worst editing system ever. I don't think I'm jumping ship just yet.
dude. I actually there was this YouTuber. I found this video, and it was such a well scripted, great video, but it was so painful to listen to because one of the worst things happened. He was lip. Do you know what lip smacking is?
Oh yeah, of course,
No,
yeah.
not
Yeah,
personally.
It's
he was lip
lip
smacking the
I've
whole
smacking.
just
entire time talking through the video, and it was so loud. And I
I've also had
commented,
this
"This is
issue.
a great video, but dude, you
But
have to cut out that that because it
yeah,
sounds really bad."
yeah, I think like the saying, like audio is like 80% of it. Like whenever you're making a video, like whether it be like any sort of video, a tutorial or an inspiration kind of like passion video such as this or whatnot, a storytime video, whatever it may be, it really it's your audio that's like 90% of the work to 80%. Like the visuals and everything else and the fancy editing, that is great, that keeps viewer retention. But if your audio is terrible to the point where like it's like you cannot listen, that you're just gonna you're gonna lose people quick, which is it's
I
really
also
important
think
with
you
audio.
can develop or just do. I'm not sure what you guys like pronunciation wise. Like sometimes I'll say something in such a bizarre way, but not realize it. I don't remember what it was specifically at the moment, but in my Skylanders video, I said something with a really heavy American accent on accident, and every time I hear it back, I just like mock myself for it. I can't remember
God
what it
damn.
was. I think it was literally. I was literally like it was like it just not sound like me at
Literally,
all.
yeah, it's a leafy as here thing that you understand. That's what it is. Overly membrane.
Literally.
Literally, that's Leafy is here's keyword for those of you that watching that don't know. Leafy is like
I didn't
keyword
watch
was over
too
literally.
much Leafy. Like I wasn't a
Oh, you
massive
missed
fan
out.
of Leafy. I was on the Pyro bandwagon and the grading underway
Oh,
stuff. Like
I love Grade
I
and
don't know.
Pyro equally. I mean, I love
I was
them more
never
so,
like a
but
hater of Leafy where it was like, oh, he bullies children. I don't care about that. Like it was just I didn't enjoy him as a person. He's a bit
I think.
repulsive.
I mean, we're not to dive too far into Leafy because we're here for BM30, but like, it's a factor that
Leafy
like no,
comes on next
Leafy's
week.
Leafy
Yeah,
comes on next week,
let's
yeah.
get Leafy on.
But like, yeah, we need to 100%. But like, no, like Leafy, he's a great creator. He really was. But
I've just
yeah,
insulted him. And we're like, yeah, he's coming
the
on. Yeah,
the the bullying kids kind of thing was the trashiest part about him. Like it was kind of like his worst content, not even in a rude sense. I love Leafy stuff. I mean, I run the archive channel for him, like or for myself, but like of him. And I mean, like, honestly, it's the kid bullying that's like the thing that got him kicked off YouTube, and harassment in general, that as well, especially just the kind of edginess kind of getting pushed.
The drama edgy era of YouTube. It was like from like 2015 to 2018. It was like
Oh
awful.
yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I just got a video striked on my archive channel, literally just think yesterday. The Leafy Zero one, which sucks, and it was this 420,000 subscriber special, and it got striked simply because it has children in it. And like that's it. Like that's the problem. He just bullying kids. It's like, don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Don't bully kids. Anyway, going on from there, from Leafy, of course. I want to bring up your association, excuse me, your appreciation for Apple products. You are, in your own words, an Apple Inc. enthusiast, which is an amazing title to hold, excuse me, for yourself. And you have apparently a huge collection of Apple products, including multiple Apple iPod Nanos and other devices. I love, of course, if you could share what those other devices are. I know you've got a huge collection, and I couldn't even begin to tell you. I'm not an Apple user myself.
I will play devil's
Android.
advocate. I despise Apple.
I have an
no.
Motorola, so like I've got no Apple products.
I have this expensive
I respect those who
notebook.
do, but I mean,
But other than that,
I mean, BM also, I've got to say, I hadn't seen it yet. I just watched it today with my friend Ree. Her and I watched the your latest Apple related video, the Apple
The portion cloth.
the cloth. And
Yes.
Ree is an Apple user, and she was in stitches giggling at it. It was hilarious. The whole commentary of it, of course, is $20 Apple cloth that is incredible. It's 10 out of 10. You were saying you got to let it recharge, of course, all that kind of jazz. It was a great video. But what made you interested in collecting old Apple products, and how much money have you spent, if you don't mind me asking, of course, if you could even roughly kind of guess as well, on your collection of Apple products?
The reason why I buy Apple products is just because it's just a fun thing to do, honestly. Like seeing the history over time and see what Apple was like producing like in the past and present. And I'm so bad talking. I'm so sorry.
No, you're
Cut
fine. You're fine. You're fine. I'm interested. I really am, because it's not to cut you off, but it is such a peculiar thing. Like, I know that you
Yeah.
are, and we're going to talk about this in a minute, of course, in a few minutes. That you collect a lot of things. It's not just Apple products. Obviously, for those of the audience who don't know, BM actually collects, or Jay collects Apple products, of course, which we're talking about now. But he collects plushies, and he also collects some other things. We're going to talk about that, of course. But the Apple products was like kind of like the big thing. You know what I mean? Because that's quite expensive to have all those devices and pieces of equipment.
But yeah, the thing about Apple itself, the company, it's very easy to think that, oh, I have all these products. I'm an Apple lover. I'm an Apple sheep. I love Apple everything. That's actually not the that's not the case, honestly. I like the products, but honestly, like I also like laughing at the company. It's like laughing with and at it as well. And
you can laugh at them while they take your money.
yes,
Like,
I think your
Like-
recent video kind of showed that. I gotta admit, like your recent video with the Apple cloth kind of thing, that
Dude.
there was so much levels of sarcasm and cheek and sass in that video of like, you have to let it recharge. It has a tracking device or a device that can only be allowed to be used on one phone or one device, and you'll never find them secondhand. And I was sitting listening, and like, as someone who genuinely doesn't have any Apple products, I'm like, fuck, you know what I'm saying? What is this? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is happening here?
it's such a random video, but okay, so basically in school, me and my friends were making fun of it. I was like, what if I bought it for a YouTube video? That'd be kind of funny. So then I wasted $20 whole on buying it. For the record, I have not opened the box that the polishing cloth comes in since I posted that video. Like, not
Really?
once. No.
Well,
It is just on my Xbox 360 right now.
Oh,
But
God.
yeah, I was just like, no, I like bullying Apple. I like making jokes about Apple and how terrible they are. But I also like buying their stuff. So it's a win-win situation.
How much Apple, I guess, stuff do you have is the question. Like, how, if you had to roughly even give us a rough amount, like if you had to count products, Apple products, like one thing, two thing, three thing, how many would you say products you have? Excess of 20?
Like as a number, probably like I've counted this before. I feel like it's in the 40s or 50s. I think.
Oh, Jesus.
How's your bank account?
Jesus.
My
man.
bank account. We don't
We're
talk
in the
about that.
minuses.
Anyways, to show how bad my collection is, I actually have. I'm staring right now. I have a stack of like 6 iPhone 4s on me.
6?
I have 6 iPhone 4s on me. But
I feel like
man.
you've got the inventory to become one of those channels where it's like lava versus phone.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
like
take back.
Yeah,
destruction.
just start
Take back.
destroying stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I've got to ask, do all of them work? Are they broken? Do you buy secondhand broken ones, or just cheap, or are you coughing up the money to buy these brand new inherently that'll work?
Most of them work, but sometimes I buy them in lots and fix them.
Right.
Like I bought some I bought like an iPhone 5 a couple months ago, and I just fixed it to make it work again. Because Apple products are very easy to fix, unless it's
Oh
like a MacBook
damn!
or something.
Oh damn! So what, you just open them up and you repair them and fix whatever's wrong, and then that's added to your collection.
Yeah, it's great though. It's fun. It's fun to
Uh,
do, honestly.
so I mean,
DIY.
I've got to ask, of course, that the main elephant in the room kind of question of a rough estimate, if there is any possibility of an answer to this, of course, right? How much would you say you have spent on Apple products, like of the whole 40 plus things?
Um,
That laugh
about
worries me.
thousands.
Thousands? Are we talking like the excess of like
8,000. Put it in the thousands range. Thousands and a hundredth. I don't know.
what?
Oh,
Like
probably over
are
a
we?
thousand at this point.
Below
Oh, I
10k or
imagine.
above 10k?
I'm
Not
below
below
10.
10k.
Right.
It's below 10k.
Right.
It's
Uh,
But
probably
is
like
it?
1,000 or something.
You're thinking like £1,000? I'd imagine it'd be more than that for
That's not
40 of
too
them.
bad. Yeah,
Okay,
if
do,
it
That's
is
do,
a
we-
not.
do
thousand,
I
I
count?
believe you.
Do I
What, sorry?
count my main the things I use right now?
Your main
My
Yes.
things,
iPhone and my
everything,
Yes.
iPad.
everything. Yeah,
Because
yeah.
those cost like $1,000 on its own.
So that's what I'm saying. You're talking like maybe in the excess of 5,000, I'd imagine. Like for like all the
At,
products,
at
or
least
maybe under that.
okay, counting those two, at least like 2,000 like 500.
Jesus
Maybe
Christ, man.
3,000, but probably not that.
Yeah, the reason I didn't believe you off the bat is this alone. It's the only thing I own, and this was 500 quid.
Yeah. So it's like
And then I
right
bought,
there you go.
and then I bought an Apple Pencil, which is 116 quid.
Oh god,
So yeah,
dude, it's ridiculous. I saw an Apple what was an Apple iPad or something like that in one of my local stores. It was like CEX, and they were selling it for like £2,000. It was like what's like I think it was second
it
hand
has
as well.
Flappy
And I was
Bird
like,
on it.
I was
Yeah.
yes. But like no, I was like, I don't know, man. I can't understand people can cough a lot of sort of money for Apple products. I mean, each to their own. Apple is a beautiful company in terms of products are nice, and I mean,
I wouldn't call them a
BM,
beautiful company.
BM made a joke
No, they're
earlier
really
on.
not.
Well, BM had no. Some of the products do look pretty cool. I can't lie, right? But like BM made a joke in his video, and I can't lie, when I heard it, I was kind of salty because it's kind of true and also not true. But it was like those who diss or those who don't like Apple or those who can't afford it, something like that. And it was like, you know, so like it's like it's true. You say because like, I would
No,
would
that
not,
was
and
that was entirely
I
a
would not.
joke.
No, but like I would not, and I could not bring myself to spend £1,000 plus on a phone. I like I'd have to worship that thing. I dropped this thing far too much. You know what I mean? This is a couple £100, 200 or 300. It's like not
I
even that
think
bad.
what can you really upgrade about a phone that like makes it worth a grand?
What
Right?
cameras are like the main
The
thing.
thing with Apple is that they
Mine
slow
is
down your
camera.
phone over time, so you have
Yeah,
to buy one
yeah,
anyway.
yeah. They
I
destroy and slow down your phone.
dude, the iPhone I have, I bought it a year ago, and it's so slow. It's so terrible now.
Was it good when you initially got it? Sorry, excuse me, I'm yawning. But was it good when you initially got it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing. It's a 12 mini. I loved it so much, and then now it's just like the battery on it is terrible. Now it's just
Goddamn.
like so slow. And now Apple is taking me to the Apple store and saying, "Hey, do you want the
Come on in.
iPhone 14? It's
Come on
it's
in.
the new iPhone. You should buy
Hey,
it right now."
come on in the
It's like
store.
the last phone, but there's
Give
less
us your
features.
wallets.
Yeah.
Oh God. Well, good
It has
answer
no
to that
screen.
question. I will accept that answer to that question. Of the in the thousands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My collection
Yeah,
my
I
collection is
understand.
worth about like 2 Mac Pros.
No,
That's the conclusion.
your collection is now worth like 50 quid because I think Apple products go down in price so quickly.
They do.
Like,
Do
spend
they?
500 grand, you get this piece of plastic that has the Apple logo on it. Yeah,
Oh, wait,
I want to
do old Apple
return this.
products, do they not go up in value? I'd imagine they would,
No,
right? Like
they
No,
don't.
really?
No,
No, come
the
on.
they go
the
down so
iPhone
quickly.
the iPhone 10, it came out in like 2017. It's still like a really good phone to use. I think it goes for like 200 now. It started at like
Oh
1,000,
damn.
and that's at 200.
What about like that? You said you got the iPhone, is it 4 or 5 that you have?
I mainly have more the older ones, like iPhone 3s, like iPhone 6s. The
How
more
much?
like modern ones are more expensive.
Right. I
I
mean,
don't have
those
that kind of
older
money.
ones. What do those older ones? Are they going up in value? Like the longer you're holding on to them, it's like an investment.
Maybe if they're like sealed. I just
Oh
do
damn.
most things for fun. I just buy them because
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
Apple.
yeah.
It's
Of
fun.
course. Yeah, yeah. Of course. That's understandable.
It's when they're brand new, they're worth a lot of money. But as soon as
Yeah.
they leave that packaging, they become like dirt.
Bang.
You might as well be selling a bag of spit. You know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's,
I,
I had
I
a
just,
friend
I
that had like
just,
a £700 phone once. He returned it for £250.
Oh
It's
god.
actually vile. It's not fun at all.
I'd be so angry.
I just love
was-
buying Apple products. It's amazing. I love going broke after like 2 minutes of game money.
This is
I
a
love
really
going broke,
unhealthy
yeah.
addiction.
It's
This
a great
like
is
gambling.
Yes. Well, I'll let Joe progress to the next question.
Oh my god, segue, guys. Something that is a big part of your history online is the site Scratch. And I do want to preface this quickly.
Oh, no.
Joe has written this question for me. However, I do know what Scratch is very well. Which, for those of you that don't know, is a site where you can basically code in the most simple form, make games, animation, music, and do that sort of creations on the web. It's a very early on coding sort of system that kids use. I used to use it back in the day when I did like an old computer science class. But you're at one point an active poster and creator on the site, and with you having over 200 posts, with your last post being over a year ago, everyone wishing you a happy new year and seemingly leaving animation related content behind to pursue commentary content on YouTube. I wanted to know if you ever plan on returning to the site. I find sorry, I just find
No.
revisiting Scratch really
Just
funny.
No.
Like
No.
Just
Oh.
no.
because I'm sorry I kind of butchered that
The-
last bit, but like Scratch as a website and a platform, I think it tried to be Newgrounds, but was not Newgrounds at a
I mean,
certain
kind
point.
of, yeah.
So
The reason
sorry, go ahead. Excuse me. Go ahead.
the reason why I made those Scratch videos, like the more recent ones in the first place, was because I was like, oh, you know what? I should return to Scratch. It's been a while since I've been on there. But then they updated Scratch to version 3.0, where they changed like the whole layout of it, and it is like so buggy and terrible. And I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna use this. It's Scratch. I'm not like
Scratch
9 years
has
old.
a lot of issues,
But
like a lot of issues.
You had been a
Yeah.
user on it for what, 7 years?
Yeah, I think on my
Oh.
profile it says United States on it because I was like, oh, I want to live in America when I'm older.
Can you not
It's
just change
I'm such a dumb little kid.
You could never just change it. I want to live in America when I'm older. That's what it is. But like, yeah, like you had been on the
Yeah.
site for 7+ years, and like, did you make any friends via the site? Have you kind of like just left all them behind, all that kind of stuff?
I did meet some friends actually. See, this is like 2016. This was pre-Discord, like when it was popular. So the big thing everyone used was Skype, and I remember like making a post saying, "Guys, can we make Skype on Scratch?" And then I just made a Skype account like the next day, and so I told
damn.
the people on there, and it was really cool. But yeah, I haven't really talked to any of them in a while though. We all just kind of moved our separate ways. After like 2016, 2017.
Yeah.
Scratch is really interesting though because it's like absolutely bare bones what you can make with it, but people have made some really extensively cool stuff. I remember like
What do you
when we
mean?
did have. What do you mean?
They made 2D paper Minecraft. That was the best game of all
God
time.
damn.
That's what I'm on about
That's
though.
quite
That's
insane,
that's
low-key.
literally what I just said. Like they've made some pretty cool stuff for what is the most bare bones thing ever. Like when we had our lessons on Scratch, it wasn't, oh, we're going to learn how to code. That was what they encouraged you to do, but we all just played games, right? Like we all did. Like someone had revamped and made almost to a T, and it is quite simple to do because you can just use videos as like the cutscenes, right? And you can make those play and different things like that, such as jump scares. Someone had revamped for the first 3 Five Nights at Freddy's games. You could play a really awful Call of Duty, which like you wouldn't run around, but you'd like tap the screen. It's like a click and shoot type thing, right? You know, like where you'd have like you'd teleport using like your mouse. You'd
Oh, right,
basically
yeah,
be doing that.
yeah.
It was very obviously bad and it wasn't online.
Very bare bones, very bad,
But
but like it was quite
the fact that
amazing
people
it could be
did
made
that
with
with
that.
something so like deprived of actual code is pretty insane.
It's insane.
Because the
I
step
mean,
up from that was like Minecraft learning how to code on Microsoft, and then you'd go to like Python or something.
Jesus.
It's,
If you were
it's
lucky.
the same. It's the same thing with Roblox. I don't play Roblox. It's a baby kids game. But like I see some tweets sometimes, or like people saying, "Wow, look at this amazing game in Roblox. It looks so great." I'm like, this looks amazing, but why would you make it in Roblox? Why not just use like Unity engine
Have you
or
seen that?
something?
Make it,
There's
make it
a
elsewhere.
COD like game that came out recently on Roblox. I don't play Roblox, but I remember Moist Critical did a video on it, and it's like it looks like the new COD. It is ridiculously. You couldn't tell it's in Roblox at all.
I
Apart
have
from
no
when you
idea
get killed,
how
you
they're
see the
making that.
Roblox profile
I prefer
photos.
Red
But
Match.
yeah,
So
Red
that's what it
Match
is.
2 is fantastic.
Red Match
There is
2,
no
we will
Red
play
Match
this
1.
after this. We will play Red Match 2
I
after
mean,
this.
we
if you're
can do.
available.
I'm down to 1v1.
I'm down to 1v1 as make some content on it.
Damn, let's do
Well,
it.
so obviously with that question being answered, of course, that the whole Scratch thing is out of the window. Goodbye to Scratch. Do svidania.
Scratch that.
What a pun. God damn.
It was a pun.
On your third channel called J.R.S. or J Review Stuff, you'd be making a steady flow of content reviewing your collection of plushies and collectible toys, if that's what you would want to call them. I would refer to them as toys, but they are action figures, the characters.
They're not
Obviously,
toys,
Yeah,
they're statues. Yeah.
some people dislike the term toys. I would call them generally toys, but I wouldn't call them toys.
they're toys, man. They're just toys.
Yeah, they're just toys. Jay's collecting. It's like they're just toys, Joe. Shut up, mate. Get with it. Well, some of these videos have found quite a good amount of success, like your Jazz Wares, Sonic 5-inch line review, and your Gosh 2006 Mario plush set review, which gained a little over 17,500 views together, which is quite actually incredible, especially for just a review video on some plushies or some toys. I was wondering though why we haven't seen any new J.R.S. videos recently, and how difficult it is collecting these sets of plushies or toys, considering how I'd imagine some must be rather expensive, and for someone who is still in school, which I believe you are, it must be hard to get the money to buy these types of things. Obviously, along of course with the Apple products, but not really so much dipping our toes into that whole conversation again. But I can imagine it must be a bit of a challenge to get all of that.
The main reason why J.R.S has been so stagnant for a bit was because, again, I've been mainly focusing on BM30 and making videos on there. But other than that, I kind of been going out of collecting plushes. I started when I was 13, 14, and then I kind of been going off of it. I still collect it every once in a while, but I kind of just make the content for my small audience and fans who are really working away in the community.
I think the J.R.S. channel is actually quite unique. I remember when I came across it, because obviously when I initially began really kind of digging deep into you and who you are, of course, I started with the BM30 channel, and then I went, right, okay, well, where am I going to go next? And I went across and I look at the NG200, is it, or NG20? Sorry, not NG200,
Yeah.
NG20 channel. Had a look there, and then I went from there, obviously, of course, to the J.R.S. channel or J Review Stuff, which was quite cool as the initials. But I ended up looking more there, of course, and I thought this was actually quite an awesome little channel, because the J Review Stuff channel is quite kind of it is really its own entity. You have BM30, you have NG20, and NG20 is I'd say sort of the sister kind of spin-off, if you dare call it that, second channel to the BM30 channel, considering the name and considering the design of it as well. It feels more like where you would house the extra content that you wouldn't upload to the BM30 channel, such as content of you playing Mario or Mario Kart 8 or whatever, or anything of that regard that's kind of extra footage that per se you wouldn't want to put up there, like VODs and such. That seemed like the place for it, and I think that's what you also kind of acknowledged it was. But J.R.S. or J Review Stuff was just kind of its own unique entity within this kind of, I guess, collective of 3 different channels, and it was quite unique to be able to go on it. It's a shame that you haven't uploaded anything recently. I thought I saw your last video, which was I got a gift, I think, for Christmas, or a present for Christmas, which is quite interesting. Of course, I do love the style of the videos and how you do the commentary on them. I think it's quite interesting. It's quite unique. But I mean, how difficult is it? How difficult is it? Excuse me, collecting plushies and stuff for that channel. Obviously, I know you're saying you're kind of coming out of that kind of interest or hobby so much a little bit, which is a shame, because it seemed like it was something that was definitely you were quite passionately interested in for a little while there. But how challenging is it to get these collections of plushies?
Depends on its age, honestly. Just like any other thing, people collect vintage stuff. An old plush that again, it's literally a toy, but it goes for 1,000 on eBay, and
Jesus,
we don't know why, but people buy it anyway because because there's this YouTuber called Patamac, and he reviews plushes like how I did, but
Right.
because he was so popular, I forgot which subs he has, but it's over 100K, and basically, anytime you'll make a video on a plush, the price will increase immediately.
Oh, it will skyrocket up. Yeah.
It will skyrocket.
I find the concept of reviewing a plush really bizarre. How do you
Weird.
do that?
Abstract.
What is
Really.
the categories of that? It's softness or design?
Design, basically, yeah. And the materials is made of.
From what I see on BM30's videos, of course, on that channel, he goes over obviously the material how it is, like how the quality of it, of course, as well, like compared to either its predecessors or other versions of it, what type of specific plushie it is. Because from what I can see from your videos, there's like different types that are similar but made by different companies, or just like different versions of the same thing. And it's kind of weird to see the differences in them and stuff. It was actually quite interesting to watch. As someone who genuinely isn't really that interested or that kind of knowledgeable in this kind of thing, it was still rather interesting to see, of course. And you do seem to have found quite a unique audience in it. You know, you definitely got a following on that channel that's quite cool. This channel of people that are just kind of interested in whatever you're going to post about plushie wise, or video wise, which is really cool. And it's kind of like you're building from the ground upwards, as opposed to on the the BM30 channel, where you're kind of, you've already got this foundation built from animation content, and now you're trying to rip that away and kind of put a new foundation down with commentary style content on the J.R.S channel. It's kind of, you are building the foundation actively with this new audience, which is why it's a little bit kind of a shame to not see any new content on it as of obviously the past, say, what, 3 months now, since Christmas. But I really hope we will see some more content or stuff soon. Excuse me.
Yeah, it's interesting though, because if you can see on my on BM30, like I was inactive for about like a year or two, and
Yeah.
in that year or two, I was actually just on J.R.S. J.R.S was meant to be like the full on move. And that's
That
how I
was
learned
like
how
the
to like
whole new
first like
thing.
actually edit videos and all that.
Oh
And that's
wow,
like where I
right.
mainly posted my videos in 2020. But then I decided, like, you know what, I wanna come back to BM30, the classic original, and make new videos on it. So that's what I
I
did.
do I do get that. I think I do understand as well the partial reason to maybe want to start a whole new channel, because obviously you're kind of, you at the moment, at least, obviously, at least, well, not even at the moment, back in say 2022, when you first began this kind of major shift to turn the BM30 channel into this whole new kind of thing, with obviously still the old content there, but the new stuff was going to be entirely different. I can understand the challenge of that. You know what I mean? You've got an audience, but it still is quite a challenge to kind of get them to be interested in this new stuff. But you seemingly have done it. You know, you built an audience for that. You're still trying to, of course, build a much more active audience for that. But you definitely have done it. But with GRS, I was going to mention obviously something that I found quite interesting, quite fascinating. You also do have an eBay account, don't you? Like I believe it's called, from my understanding, the JIH underscore warehouse. Is it J warehouse? Is that how you meant to pronounce it?
JH Warehouse, yeah.
GIH warehouse, yeah, where you sell, video game merchandise. You also sell random things, like I believe I've seen on there. You've got like Gears of War and stuff like that, like a Gears of War Xbox 360 game that you're selling, and I think it's Judgment and a couple other bits and
Bobby,
bobs and
You
stuff.
really
I'm
went
gonna
all out.
load
You
that.
really fucked in
Oh,
on my
dude,
eBay account.
man,
I'm gonna load
But
that up. I'm gonna buy some
dude,
stuff.
it's
I'm gonna get an autograph as well. It'd be
yeah,
great.
he's got a
no
Knuckles character that he's selling
that
at the minute,
eBay account
which is pretty
is
cool.
practically way back back when I mainly posted on J.R.S. There was way more like interesting stuff there, and I used
Right.
to like sell plushes like high price. I remember like I saw like a basic Mario plush. You know the Hammer Mario for like Mario Bros. DS.
Yes.
I don't
Yep.
know. I don't know
I
which
had
one that is
a
specifically. Sorry, but
but I
continue.
had a plush of it, and I sold it for $40 somehow.
Right.
But
Okay. Gosh, damn.
over time, I just stopped using the eBay account. I just don't use eBay that much anymore. So it's just like some like dead listings on there.
Because from my initial understanding, and I believe it's not even my initial understanding. I believe you had mentioned this in a video. You use the eBay account and you would sell plushies and other things, and then you get that money and use that to invest into getting other plushies that you can make reviews on, and then go from there. Which is actually really, really, really cool. That's kind of the initial understanding of it, at least from my understanding, from what I believe, which is quite a fascinating way to do it. Because obviously, inherently, if you could buy plushies that are of more value, hold on to them for longer until they go up in price, sell them, you can earn a markup, and then you can buy other things and make reviews on them, and kind of keep the progress going, of course, which is quite a fascinating thing to do. But yeah, no, I saw that the eBay account was still there, and I was like, oh gosh, he's got some things for sale. Have a little bit of a peek. As a
Should
Gears
have
of War
bought
fan,
one
I
and then
saw,
like had it on
Judgment.
like the
Yeah,
side.
imagine if I had bought one from you, Jay, and like
It-
you had no clue. Like I just bought it for. I should have bought beforehand. If you had like a hat or something for sale, I would have bought it. Be like, yeah, but let me buy this. You'd be like, oh yeah, welcome to Forgotten Podcast. I'm just wearing the hat. Be great game.
honestly, it worked. The strategy of just like buying things and then reselling them for a higher price, it worked extremely well. I'm not even lying. In 2020, my parents were like asking me how I was making like 300 quid by just selling stuff on eBay. It was actually all fine.
I mean,
But
dude, as
Drugs.
long as you're doing it, man, it's working well for you. I mean, what's a shame
yeah,
in it? You know what I mean?
yeah. I kind of wish now that I didn't spend it on like plushes, because I
Yeah,
you,
not
you
Apple
poor context.
products.
The Apple was speaking to me.
Yes, the whispering in your ear. I mean, the beauty of it is it's kind of an investment, and I imagine to some aspects. Obviously, it's not all about that. It's kind of passion. You enjoy it, right? So, like, I can imagine to some extent, excuse me, you could still resell those plushies and toys and stuff that you've collected if you wanted to, and earn money back, and then go from there if you wish. Which would be obviously quite an interesting way to do it.
Yeah, I plan on doing it on the future, but not right now. Currently,
Yeah,
I still have some reviews to finish doing
yeah,
before yeah.
other bits and pieces. I get you. Well, a Joe segue.
Wow, I never know when we're gonna like revamp, so I try and stay quiet. But something that I was interested in to know is you have three main channels. We've kind of already like touched on this, but BM30, NG20, and J.R.S. They all have seemingly different avatars or characters that all don't really look the same. The only slight exception is that BM30 and NG20 characters do kind of share some similarities. We kind of said about like how it's like almost like a sister channel, but even there are some differences. So I was hoping you could share some insight behind this and why did you choose the name NG20?
Oh well, the thing about the NG20 username is just the old username. So, I don't know if you know this, but BM for the NG20, there used to be longer names that were just abbreviated because I don't like them anymore.
Well,
But
Brave Man
the
30 was an example, wasn't
DLCs,
it? Sorry. But yeah, Brave Man 30, was that not what BM30 is? That was what the abbreviation was,
yeah.
BM30. Yeah.
So it's
It
not
was,
big man and nice guy.
oh any of my friends who met me before I changed my username, they don't know what the BM stands for. I don't tell them, but yeah, it's
Well
actually not
done.
my name. The real story was that my dad had the channel called Brayman30, and I just didn't change the username.
Wait, so
That's
wait,
the
wait,
real
wait,
story.
wait, wait. So wait, that wasn't your actual name. You were not the Brave Man 30. You
No,
were
I was
actually
more
it was a
YouTube. I
Oh,
was
but
more
no, I know that.
YouTube.
Yeah, yeah, because obviously, of course, I put the list here names. You had obviously, of course, Brave Man 30, Orange Code 79, which was I believe now what the J.R.S channel. That's what that was at one point. Now it's J.R.S.
Yeah.
And then you've got Mario Tube, the original, and then obviously NG20, which is the one that I don't fully understand the name meaning of course, which is kind of eluding me a little bit. So I'm quite intrigued to know. I guess that one, obviously, of course, the reason why, or the
I
reason behind the name NG20.
just like being funny. I really don't like saying what I use to stand for.
So are you?
It's cringe. It's cringe. It's cringe.
It's cringe.
This is
It's
your
too
place
cringe.
to say
I'm
it.
not. I'm not saying. I'm not saying it.
You have
You're not
to.
saying it.
Gunpoint.
No. You, you can probably find it somewhere if you want to look.
I'll find it
It's
somewhere. I'll
not.
go digging. If I couldn't find it when I was doing the initial script, I probably can't find it. But like, I am quite intrigued. I really am. Why it was changed now. I can't lie. You got me
Do
kind of.
you
Got
really
me
want
quite
to know?
keen. I
Okay.
Yes.
do. I
Okay.
do.
No.
I
Okay. I'll
do.
tell this. I'll tell this. Okay. Rayman. Okay. Simplified story. Rayman 30. 11-year-old Jay was like, okay, I want to have a second channel, but I wanted to have the opposite name. What is? Was it also a brave man? Shy girl 20. That's the name.
Wait, what?
What like
Shy
a
girl 20.
character shy girl,
Shy girl.
Yeah,
which is
that's the
kind of
name.
like a fan
I,
manifestation of
I
shy
was
guy.
wondering.
That's,
I was wondering that
Shy guy.
I wasn't wanting to seem rude, but I was wondering is the is the other channel, of course, NG20, is it a female character, the profile photo?
Yeah, it's just
I
the
thought
OC
that.
is not meant to like represent me at all. It's just
Right,
to
because
like
I did
characters I drew
I
for
didn't
the
get that
channels.
because like you've got obviously the J.R.S channel, the BM30 channel, and the NG20 channel. They all have different characters. The NG20 and the BM30 channel both look similar in characters, right? But there's like one's male, one's female. That's the vibe that I get. That's how I perceived it, right? But I didn't really get how that was meant to work with obviously J.R.S channel because that was a different character as well. Was that just your own kind of cunning thinking to kind of go and try and throw everybody off the scent? Be like, no, it's different people that run these channels,
Well,
not me.
well, to be fair, I made J.R.S. like before I rebranded my channel. I made those
Mhm.
OCs, so it's just like I didn't want to like change it up. And also, I don't know. It's just I just like the design. I like J.R.S.'s design. It's fun to
No, I,
draw.
I think J.R.S.'s design is awesome. I think for the drawing stuff you do, it is 10 out of 10. It does kind of it has kind of thrown me off a little bit in the past. The whole kind of differences in J.R.S. and BM30, especially of course, in character designs and how like the artwork looks. But I mean, each to their own creative control. That's what it is. Excuse me. So I mean, fair play. Well, for sadly, what will be our final question for you today, Jay? We wanted to ask what your audience can expect to see from the future, from you, obviously, in the BM30 and G20 and J.R.S channels in the upcoming future. Excuse me, if you could share, of course, that with us.
Of course, BM30 is only gonna go up, man. It's just gonna be more video essays. There'll probably be more like highly edited gaming videos on there. maybe if I don't feel it's like low effort enough to be on NG20. But my main goal in BM30 in terms of the content itself is just creating what I think is fun to make. Really, it could be on anything. It could be on Apple. It could be on Mario. It could be on Minecraft. Again, if I really want to get views, it could it could be on
Well,
anything really.
in all fairness,
Calling
I
out
think
Joe
that
now.
yeah, that's what it is. You're saying no. I think that when you make videos on things that you're passionate about, I think that that's quite clear to the audience who watches.
Why is
the
my name
videos.
Sam Hyde?
I just saw, like, sorry.
How long has that been there?
It doesn't matter. Anyway, but like no, I sorry, but like no, I think like videos of yours that you're passionately invested in, they are a lot more interesting. I think that Joe's telling man, he was messing with me. I think that I think that it is quite clear when you're.
I looked in the
passionately
bottom
invested in
corner. I
a
was
video.
like, "Who the fuck is Sam Hyde? What is that? What even is that a reference to?
I don't know, man. Who knows? You know what I'm saying?
Who is Sam Hyde?"
Who knows? Who is Sam Hyde? I've got no clue. Well, BM30, man, it's been, or Jay, of course, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on our show, man. I really, really, really do truly appreciate coming on with us, of course. This has been quite a unique recording because, like we said already, this was something that was kind of, how do we put it? It was something that was rather new to us, kind of unique. You are actually the first guest who came on that we haven't really had a prior interaction with personally. So it's been quite an interesting, unique episode. I hope that by the end of it, you kind of grown to love us in some certain ways, to some extent. Maybe not Joe so much. He's not that interesting. I'm interesting, but he's not. You know what I'm saying? It's throw Sam Hyde away. They're like, no. But no, man. Well, thanks so much for coming on the show. But honestly, at BM, it's been an absolute pleasure once again. Ladies and gentlemen that are watching the podcast, if you guys went to enjoy this episode, please be sure to go drop a like it, of course. And if you guys are listening on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts, wherever you're going to be listening to this, of course, or watching
On
on
an Apple
YouTube,
product.
do go and check out, of course, BM30. His channel will be linked down below. Same with his J.R.S channel and NG20 channel. Once again, BM, thank you, or Jay, of course, thank you so much for coming on the show. We'll see you guys on the next episode of the Forgotten Podcast. And yeah, everybody, peace out.
Adios.
Later.
What are you doing? Are you in like a Let's Play now? What the fuck is this?
Hey guys,
Let's
welcome
play
back to another
Minecraft.
Let's Play channel.